Everyone, Virgo Triad here. It is October 17th, 2017. Hope everyone's having a great day. I am doing this video by special request from a subscriber by the name of Nick11. And Nick has asked me for information with regards to the accepted for value promissory note that is being spoken of on many of the channels. And after some investigation with regards to what notices have been placed out for the accepted for value promissory notes, I have located this notice from the Office of Inspector General at the US Department of Treasury on treasury.gov fraud alerts that will shed some light on many of the things that are being spoken of on the Guru's channels. So I'm going to just go ahead and read what their notice is with regards to these things, and that should help to clear up whether or not you should be attempting to use an accepted for value for different forms of debt. And then I'm going to go into a little bit more information with regards to why accepted for value is being used as a gateway for the TDA accounts and additional information of how to relieve debt, how that came to be. So let's go ahead and take a look at this website. I'm going to blow it up a little bit so that it's easier to follow along. The U.S. Treasury Department Office of Inspector General investigates individuals' use of fraudulent Treasury-related financial obligations or accounts to attempt purchases or pay debts. Fraud perpetrators across the nation have recently begun to use fraudulent promissory notes and or private bonds as vehicles to defraud investors out of hundreds of millions of dollars. The Department of the Treasury is also aware of several fraudulent schemes that involve what are claimed to be securities issued or backed by the Treasury Department or another part of the U.S. government. These scams have been directed towards banks, charities, individuals, and companies which seek payment on fraudulent securities. Many of the scams originate from persons attempting to avoid paying tax obligations. The Internal Revenue Service provides additional background and information on these scams here. And I will be posting this with the link in the description so you can look for yourself. Another scheme is a variation of a common fraud generally known as redemption or acceptance for value that incorrectly asserts the United States government has trust accounts linked to each citizen. The theory is not supported in fact or law and has been soundly rejected by the federal courts. Perpetrators will annotate or stamp invoices with accept for value or similar language with various numbers purporting to be account numbers. Such annotations are without merit and establish no rights or privileges in any federal or state account or agency. Recently, Treasury OIG has become aware of a different variation of this scheme. Individuals are obtaining routing numbers from Treasury bureaus, specifically the Financial Management Service, FMS, and the Bureau of Public Debt, BPD, or a Federal Reserve Bank, and using these numbers to make the false notes appear genuine. Further, many of these fraudsters hold seminars throughout the United States, teaching attendees how to create these fictitious documents and how to use federal routing numbers. Individuals are now creating false checking accounts with the federal routing number, using their Social Security number as the checking account number, and listing the bank as either the FMS or the BPD. Be advised that Treasury bureaus and the Treasury Direct program do not offer checking accounts for the public, and they will not honor any of these checks. Participating in these scams can result in serious criminal and civil penalties. It is also a violation of federal law to misuse the Treasury seal or the words, titles, symbols, or emblems of the Treasury Department or any service, bureau, office, or Treasury subdivision. See 31 U.S.C. 333. Okay, now we can go into these other links and take a look at them privately. I'm going to go ahead and list this link in the description. I want to go ahead and make sure that I mention this, however. I believe the way that this got started, and remember that the straw man fallacy allows people to actually skew the argument, skew the law, so that this way it appears to be legal and it appears to be legalese. It may even appear to be what is written as an actual law in a legal dictionary or a number of legal entries. However, what's happening here is the law is being taken and skewed in order to make it look like it is a part of this movement that's being perpetuated about the TDA accounts and the accept for value. What I mean by that is there is actually a pooled account that can be used in cases like where people are arrested and they end up having to get a public defender. And at that point, the debt for the public defender is offset. It is offset only by a judge agreeing to allow that to happen because it is part of your United States constitutional rights that you will be provided with representation should you not be able to afford representation for yourself. With that being the case, it being offset by the Treasury Department does not mean you get to go off writing your own accepted for value tickets and that the Department of Treasury is going to pay them for you based on the fact that you have a debt you can't afford to pay. What will happen in this case, and anyone who wants to claim they have the guts to try it, you can go ahead and go for it. But mark my words, what's going to happen is this. If you follow what the gurus are telling you to do, and you put accepted for value or accept for value on any one of your bills, and you send it to the Treasury Department, the Treasury Department is going to send you a notice back that says, this is your one and only opportunity. If you try this again, we will charge you a $5,000 fine for filing erroneous paperwork. It's a waste of their time. The accounts we are referring to are accounts that are dealt with only through the agreement of the judicial departments and the Department of Treasury to offset debts that are public debts of a party that actually is imprisoned or has been proven to be not capable of paying for their own attorney. With that being the case, then yes, that can be offset for the public defender. That is an example. It does not mean that you can pick up your utility bill, stamp it with accept for value, ship it off to your Department of Treasury, and expect that there aren't going to be repercussions for that. That is not what those accounts are used for. Those are not private accounts. That is a public account. It is for the purpose of offsetting state funds for public defenders and those sorts of scenarios. And on this actual website, in the scam area, I just read to you that the Office of Inspector General within the US Department of Treasury, you can see it for yourself by going to the link, is providing you with an absolute saying, you will be penalized. Criminal charges can be brought against you. You cannot continue to perpetuate this lie. If you do, we are going to find you and we are going to imprison you. You need to take a look at this. If there's any questions, please contact the U.S. Department of Treasury. They will inform you of exactly what is happening. The scenario with this on the TDA accounts has gotten so severe at this point that they now are putting out a fraud notice directly on the Department of Treasury's website, letting you guys know, hey, all of this stuff, they're all it's all scam. Okay, all of it. Backed by Treasury Department accounts don't exist. Backed by Federal Reserve accounts don't exist. Accepted for value in the manner that you all are being told does not exist. There are many other scams regarding, for example, the 1099 OID scam. They're all scams. You have been lied to. I'm sorry that you've been lied to. I know that it's frustrating. I know it's disheartening. But these accounts, in the manner you have been explained, do not exist. Now, I'm going to make this statement, and for anyone who chooses from this point forward to bash me because, oh, you're claiming that these accounts don't exist, but we know that they exist, and you're a liar, and you don't know what you're talking about, and you're a fraud, and all of these other things. Listen to what I am saying. I am not saying that there are not accounts throughout the Treasury account that will assist in certain debts. There are those accounts. They are for specific things. You must be approved to use those accounts through the judicial system or through the Treasury. These are not things that attach to your birth certificate. These are not accounts like you have been told. These are not accounts that you're going to be able to access money from. They're not accounts that you're going to be able to purchase a new car or a house or anything of that nature from. They are not part of mutual funds. They are not part of the Treasury Direct website. They're also not a part of the Federal Reserve System. These are accounts that are used for the purpose of offsetting state accounts. Yes, they may have to do with you personally. If you're arrested, for example, and you cannot afford a public defender. But they are not accounts that you will be able to, God forbid, start getting checks and putting your Social Security number as an account number on these checks with a Federal Reserve routing number or a Treasury routing number on it. You guys are playing with fire. So, for the record, I am not saying that an account does not exist that will allow certain debts to be written off should you be approved. I am saying that the TDA accounts that are the claims of the gurus on YouTube and other channels and other websites, that they are charging for classes and they are claiming it's your straw man and they are claiming the redemption and the accepted for value and the 1099 and all of these different things they supposedly work, they don't work. And now the US Department of Treasury and the Office of Inspector General have caught up to it. They are now warning you. You've been warned by the Federal Reserve. You have been warned by the FBI. All of those are on my channel. Please take heed at this point. Please. All right, everyone. Just wanted to make sure that that information was out there and that you have something to relate it back to. Please subscribe, share, and like if I'm helping at all. And I will make sure that this link is in the description for you to look at for yourself, along with all the other scams pertaining to this. Thank you so much and have a great afternoon.